Okay, this is on the last chapter that we're going to be doing, or at least part of the chapter we're going to be doing, on solutions, and we're going to talk about acids and bases, but first we need to know what a solution is, because solutions are a big part of what acids and bases, what we can talk about with acids and bases. So first we need to understand that. So, a suspension is a mixture in which particles can be seen and easily separated. So an example of a good suspension would be like a snow globe. So if we were to shake the snow globe up, we see all the little particles that come out, the snow or the glitter, whatever. Those things are separated from each other. We can see the difference, and they settle back down again. So the water stays water, and the suspension particles settle to the bottom. A solution is a well-mixed mixture. So an example that they're showing there is the Windex. So you can't really see the separate particles. And then a colloid is something that you can't really see through. You can't necessarily see the different particles, but they're big enough that you cannot see through it, basically. A solution, a lot of times you can see through because the particles are too small for the light not to get through. Okay, so a colloid, there's bigger particles and you can't see through it. Okay, so solids and solvents. A solvent is the solution present in the largest amount, so it's the thing that dissolves the other thing. A solute, then, is the thing that is dissolved by the solvent. So you mix something together. Solvent is going to be present in a larger amount. Solvent is going to be present in a smaller amount, and it is dissolved by the solvent. So some examples of common solutions there. Air. So other gases that mix in with nitrogen. Nitrogen is the biggest part of the atmosphere, but other gases mix in with it, making the solute a gas and the solvent a gas. Soda water. So if you drink pop, you are drinking a solution. The gas being, the carbon dioxide gas being dissolved into the liquid soda water, which gives it the bubbles and things like that. So antifreeze, liquid with liquid. So a couple different things, something dissolving in water, creating a solid and solvent. Dental fillings, you put some silver or whatever into a liquid, and you put it in the tooth to create that solid once it dries. Ocean water, salt is a solid, goes into the water liquid. So solvent is going to be there in a bigger amount, solid is a smaller amount, and it dissolves in the solvent. When we talk about solutions, we talk about things like dilute and concentrated. Solute means that there's only a little solid. So if you've ever tasted something that tastes weak, so maybe you like tea, and you put a tea bag in your hot water, and maybe you pull the tea bag out too early, and it just seems not as tasty. Or you don't put a lot of sugar in, maybe you like sugar in your coffee, and you can tell when you don't put enough sugar in because it's more dilute. Or weak coffee is an example of dilute solution, not enough coffee in with the water. Concentrated solution means there's more solute that is dissolved in the water. So maybe sometimes you put enough of something and it's concentrated. It's got exactly what it needs, maybe even a little bit too much at times. So if you're mixing stuff together, a concentrated solution is going to have more solute in it than something like a dilute solution would have. Okay, solubility is basically how well something can dissolve something else. This is kind of showing you how things dissolve, these pictures here. So it's showing how you put salt into water and how the salt particles break apart, and basically you don't see the salt particles anymore because water has dissolved them. So basically it breaks those salt particles apart, and the sodium and the chloride go into the water, and you have a solution there that has something dissolved in it. So we've got a solid and a solvent. So the solid is the water, and the solvent is the salt. And it just breaks apart the salt particles and kind of takes them into with the water molecules. So solubility is a measure of how well that works. There are some things that affect solubility. Temperature would be one that would affect the concentration, the different solvents that are involved, so what types of things you're dissolving together, and the type of solvent, okay, so the main things are going to be your temperature and your type of solvent that you're using. Those are going to affect how soluble something is. A saturated solution, when you've added so much more that no more solid will dissolve, You can put so much salt into water that you cannot dissolve it anymore. Or sugar, same thing. You can put so much in there that it no longer will accept it, and you have like a sugar film at the bottom or a salt film at the bottom that doesn't allow it to be mixed in anymore. Okay, so an unsaturated solution means you can put more solid in, so you can dissolve more. So it's kind of like more dilute in that situation, so you can put more in if you find that it's unsaturated, or you can leave it how it is too, but that just means there's more ability for the solute to dissolve more solvent in it. Water is considered a universal solvent. Pretty much anything will dissolve in water. So lots of different things dissolve in water. Because of the way that water works, it's polar, which means it pulls things apart, takes it into the actual substance of the water molecule. This is just showing the difference between like ice and how ice can't mix with anything. Ice is the one on the left there, as you're looking at it. And then the liquid water solution is on the right, and it's showing you how things are dissolved. So water has to be a liquid in order for it to dissolve things. Ice will not do that because the particles are stuck in position. So you need to usually have something that's readily able to, one of the things has to be a liquid or a gas in order for it to be a solvent, solute, sorry, in order for it to be a solute, because otherwise it will not accept anything into it. And that is it. This is the first section in chapter 3. We're going to talk about acids and bases as well. This is just the first part of it. Homework is in the packet or online on PowerSchool Learning. Enjoy!